Ever wonder what made Einstein tick? Einstein wasn't a genius because of his brain. He was a genius because of his curiosity. Yes, the man whose name has become synonymous with brilliance didn't get straight A's, wasn't a child prodigy, and even got rejected from jobs after graduation. But he had something more powerful than talent, an unrelenting, childlike wonder about the universe. So how did this dreamy boy from Germany end up rewriting the laws of the cosmos? The answer lies in one word: curiosity. And today, we're diving deep into the wild, beautiful, and revolutionary mind of Albert Einstein. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand how he changed physics, you'll see the entire universe differently. The birth of curiosity. The world didn't pause the day Albert Einstein was born. There were no signs, no shooting stars, just a quiet birth in a modest Jewish family. But young Albert was different. Quiet, thoughtful, even a little odd. At age 5, something small, almost forgettable, sparked a fire in him forever: a compass. When he held it, he noticed something strange. No matter how he turned it, the needle pointed north. Invisible forces? Something he couldn't see, moving something he could? His mind lit up. What force is this? What's underneath everything? That was the moment. The first spark. The seed of Einstein's obsession with the unseen laws that govern the universe. And then there was his uncle Jacob, a soft-spoken man with a sharp mind, who gave young Einstein books on algebra and geometry. But more importantly, Jacob didn't just give him formulas. He gave him questions. Why does gravity pull? How does light move? Albert didn't memorize answers. He imagined scenarios, stories, and worlds where he could play with ideas. He started doing something unusual for a child. He daydreamed with equations. The rebel genius. But if you think schools recognized his genius, think again. Einstein hated school. Not because he was lazy, but because it crushed his creativity. Rigid rules, memorization. Teachers barking commands. One teacher even told him, "You will never amount to anything." Let that sink in. The man who would go on to revolutionize physics was told he'd be a failure by his own teachers. But Albert was stubborn. Gloriously, beautifully stubborn. He believed logic was useless without imagination. So he broke rules, skipped classes, asked forbidden questions. When he later entered the Polytechnic Institute in Zurich, he didn't thrive in class. Instead, he spent his time reading James Clerk Maxwell's papers on electromagnetism and imagining what it would be like to ride alongside a beam of light. Yes, literally riding on light. That thought experiment, born in the mind of a rebellious daydreamer, would later lead to his theory of special relativity. The patent clerk who shook the universe. Here's the wild part. Einstein wasn't a professor. He wasn't in a lab. He wasn't even a physicist yet. He was working at the Swiss patent office, spending his days examining inventions, quietly scribbling ideas on scraps of paper. But in 1905, something happened that would change everything. He published 4 groundbreaking papers in a single year. Today, we call it the Annus Mirabilis, the miracle year. He proved atoms existed. He explained the photoelectric effect, laying the foundation for quantum theory. He introduced special relativity, challenging everything we knew about time and space. And he gave us the most famous equation in history, E equals mc squared. Let's pause. Imagine the boldness it takes for a 26-year-old patent clerk, without a PhD or university job, to tell the world that time slows down when you move fast, that mass and energy are the same thing, and that light doesn't play by Newton's rules. He flipped physics on its head. And he did it not with a lab, but with thought experiments and raw imagination. The theory that bent the universe. But Einstein wasn't done. While most scientists would spend a lifetime basking in the glow of their achievements, Einstein asked a deeper question. What about gravity? Newton's law said gravity was a force between two masses. But Einstein felt it wasn't the full picture. It didn't explain why all objects fall at the same rate. It didn't explain how gravity worked at a distance. So Einstein did what he always did. He imagined. He pictured standing in a falling elevator. Inside, everything would float, just like in space. Could gravity and acceleration be the same thing? This led to the general theory of relativity, a theory so complex it took him 10 years to formulate. And in 1915, he unveiled it. Gravity wasn't a force. It was the curving of space-time itself. Planets didn't orbit because they were pulled. They orbited because space itself was warped around stars. The proof? In 1919, during a solar eclipse, scientists observed that starlight bent as it passed the sun, just as Einstein predicted. The next day, newspapers around the world hailed him as a genius. Overnight, Einstein became a celebrity, the philosopher of physics. But Einstein was more than a scientist. He was a philosopher, a dreamer, and a critic of blind faith in numbers. He once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, because knowledge is limited, but imagination? It circles the globe." He wrestled with the meaning of reality. He questioned whether time was real or just an illusion. He argued with Niels Bohr about quantum mechanics, famously declaring, "God does not play dice with the universe." Einstein couldn't accept that randomness governed the fundamental level of reality. He believed in underlying order, in deep principles yet to be discovered. Even late in life, when most physicists were diving into quantum theory, Einstein worked tirelessly on a unified field theory, his dream of finding one equation to explain all forces. He never succeeded, but his relentless pursuit? That's the real legacy. Einstein's impact beyond physics. Einstein's influence stretched far beyond equations. He stood for peace, even warning Roosevelt about the potential of nuclear weapons. He fought for civil rights, calling racism America's worst disease. He was offered the presidency of Israel and declined. And through it all, he remained humble, quirky, and endlessly curious. Pop culture embraced him. His wild hair, twinkling eyes, and iconic quotes became symbols of genius. But here's the truth: Einstein was never about fame. He didn't care for awards or ceremonies. He once said, "I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious." Let that sink in. The man who gave us relativity, who changed time and space, credited everything to curiosity. Einstein's legacy today. Today, Einstein's theories power GPS satellites, black hole research, gravitational wave detection, and more. Without his work, we'd never understand the Big Bang or explore the fabric of the universe. But perhaps more importantly, his mindset changed science. He taught us that imagination belongs in science. That questioning the obvious leads to the extraordinary. That a boy with a compass and questions can move the world. His curiosity lives on in every young scientist, every student who dares to ask why, and every dreamer who stares up at the stars and wonders. The future Einstein dreamed of. And yet, so many mysteries remain. What is dark matter? What is dark energy? How do we unify gravity with quantum mechanics? These questions would have fascinated Einstein. They demand the same curiosity, the same rebellious spirit, the same willingness to imagine the impossible. We may not have all the answers yet, but we carry Einstein's torch. Because somewhere, right now, there's a young mind, maybe watching this video, who's holding a compass or looking at the stars, or asking questions nobody else dares to ask. And maybe, just maybe, they'll change everything. Einstein didn't just change physics. He changed how we think. He showed us that curiosity isn't just a trait. It's a superpower. It's the key to invention, to discovery, to revolution. So the next time someone tells you to stop daydreaming, to stop asking weird questions, or to stay in line, remember Einstein. Remember the patent clerk who imagined riding on light and bent the universe. And maybe, just maybe, one question of yours could change the world too. If this story of Einstein lit a fire in your mind, hit that subscribe button. Because here on Curiosity Carnival, we don't just tell stories, we ignite revolutions of thought. And if Einstein taught us anything, it's that the universe always rewards the curious. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.